Well, tomorrow is the National Day of Prayer. Some of you may or may not know that actually the Continental Congress talked about having a National Day of Prayer and exercise such, but it wasn't until later when the federal government made an official National Day of Prayer, and now the president, whoever he is obligated to declare a National Day of Prayer. And it's always set up as the first Thursday in May. Some of the presidents have seen fit to have activities at the White House, and some have seen not to, but let me just encourage you to take time tomorrow sometime to pray, first of all, for your family, then your community, then your state, then the government, and then the world. Pray in those concentric circles, if you will, lifting up all of those that you can think of, and spend a little bit of time in prayer, particularly for the governments of your county, of your state, and of your United States, and pray for what's going on in the world and the tension that seems to be in the world as China builds its nuclear arsenal and as Russia has invaded, and pray for those people that are caught up in the midst of all of this battling. It's a good thing to pray. God knows about everything that's going on, it's true. But he also likes to have his people have compassion, concern, and he wants them to pray. Roe being overruled and taken out by the Supreme Court, it seems a sure thing at this point. It's going to cause a lot of controversy and a lot of anxiety for a lot of people. But we've been praying for a long time that there would not just be the abortion of children at will when so many good birth control methods are available, and so few of the abortions are caused because of incest or a threat to a woman's life. And so we're protecting life, and there are hundreds of thousands of families who would like to adopt children, so even if they're unwanted by the mother and father of the child, there are homes that are anxiously waiting to have children in them. So I hope that you'll pray that this Roe versus Wade legislation that went through the Supreme Court and has been law for 50 years will be struck down, and that the states can then protect the unborn children. I think it's an important thing. Chapter 18, the book of Exodus. Jethro, who we haven't heard about for quite a long time. This is the priest out in Midian, where Moses ran from Egypt. And there he married Jethro's daughter, Zipporah. Had 2 children, 2 sons, at least 2 sons anyway, Gershom and Eleazar. And now Jethro has heard about all of the wonderful things that God has done for Moses and the sons of Israel, and he's decided to come out and to have a reunion with Moses and to celebrate all that God has done. And so he comes out, he celebrates, and celebrates with Aaron and the leaders. He praises God. He has a burnt offering, and he notices that Moses is judging the people. Now, that doesn't mean what we would mean by judging. He's not sitting around judging whether or not they're living right or not, but he's rather acting as a judge to settle disputes according to God's laws and statutes. But remember, there was almost 2 million people that came out of Egypt. So you can imagine the amount of disputes that could come before Moses on any given day. And so Moses was busy judging the people from sun up to sundown. Jethro saw this and he said, "This isn't good." And he gave some advice to Moses. He said, "Moses, you need to teach the people God's ways. Then you need to find men." But notice he didn't just say anybody. He said they need to be men of integrity. They need to be men that are able, who fear God, and men of integrity and who hate evil. And then you need to set them up over thousands, hundreds, 50s, and 10s. Let them handle all of this minor disputes. And anything that's major, let them bring that dispute before you. Think about how wise that was and how similar that is to the way our judicial system is set up now. We have lower courts that settle minor disagreements. We have higher courts that settle bigger issues. We have criminal courts, and we have the Supreme Court. There's no question that we need to be fair and just. We need to follow God's laws and statutes. And it says that after Jethro made this suggestion to Moses, that Moses followed Jethro's instructions and recommendations. How do we apply this to our lives today? Sometimes we can be so busy that we don't recognize some of the mistakes that we're making. And it's nice to have somebody like a Jethro come alongside and make some suggestions. Now, I gotta tell you, I'm no better than anybody else when it comes to people making suggestions to me. My first inclination is to reject it without even hearing it. But we need to listen, especially when somebody is older and wiser. And we need to give it consideration. Not every suggestion that'll come your way is good suggestion. And not everybody is going to be older and wiser that gives you suggestions. But my friends, Moses had the wisdom to see that Jethro was right and that he would wear himself out and the people as well. And he followed the instructions that set up a judicial system that is very similar to the one that we have today, and the one that works. One where that case can be escalated to a higher authority until it gets to the Supreme Court. And then we pray for men and women to be on that Supreme Court who will recognize God's values and statutes. And they'll rule according to what they believe God would have them to do. And I think that's what's happening right now. And that's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.